Hello and welcome to Art 92 Online Orientation. You're watching this presentation if you missed the conference call and can't make it to the in-person orientation at VPA 202 on Monday, 4 to 6. But that's okay. We can go over it together here with this presentation. It is going to be a very abridged version because I have a 15-minute limit. I'm using a software called Screencast-O-Matic. So I won't be reading over every little text on the syllabus and the guidelines, but I'm going to be showing you the main components of the class and how it's going to go. So hopefully you've been able to log on to Moodle, and this is what our page looks like. A brief introduction about what we're going to be doing, some information about me so you can know more about your instructor. I have office hours here. If you can email me and we can schedule a time to meet on this live chat room so we can kind of talk in real time. Time management is very important. I want you to all have a calendar set up and look at my syllabus and put the assignment due dates onto your calendar so you know. Plan to spend about 10 to 12 hours a week on this class. So make sure you allocate that time. Like, when do you want to do it? In the morning, mid-afternoon, noon, or night? See how much time you have available with your current schedule. And they give you some templates to help you schedule in those time blocks. Schedule in at least one block of time each week to work on the curatorial project, which is our main research project this semester. We're not writing a research paper, we're instead being curators, and you're going to make a digital exhibition. So use the syllabus in conjunction with the calendar. So put all the deadlines, due dates, and what have you in your own calendar, and that'll give you a major success strategy for the experience this semester. Of course, we all are guilty of this, but try not to put off your work till the last minute because that's just more stressful and it might not give you the level of work that you would have outputted if you had, done it in a more timely fashion and given more time for yourself. So, set some mini deadlines for yourself so you can get things going earlier and stay on task. Let's see the online student tips for more ways to manage our time online. So here you go. They're saying, email me when you have a question or problem. Don't procrastinate. Log onto the website every day, or at least Monday through Friday, so you can see what's going on and make sure you've done everything. You don't have to buy a text, but I do provide the name of a text that you can find the course information in. It's Marilyn Stockstad's Art History Volume 2. However, you can find all this information on the internet, particularly a website, smarthistory.khanacademy.com, and that's, basically all you need to ace this class. But some people like to have a book. Some people find it tedious and heavy and expensive. I personally, like having a book to look through. However, all of the information is available online. So I just want to make that clear. Add bookmarks and favorites in your browser, definitely for the Smart History website. Turn that into a bookmark so you can access it quickly. Technical problems come up, so allocate yourself enough time in case you have to do some troubleshooting. Okay, this is very important to be active in the online discussion or chats so you can get to know other students and you guys can all facilitate a learning community with each other. Okay, that brings me to the next section, which is netiquette. Netiquette, what is that? It's, this is the core rules of netiquette, which was excerpted by a book by Virginia Shea. And basically, we have some rules for online interactions, and I would like you to at least, read through the first three. This one's really important. Let's keep the same standards of behavior online that we would do in real life. So if you're not going to say it to a person's face, we probably shouldn't write it. Some of the stuff we talk about is controversial. There are non-secular themes, so I really ask that we all keep that in mind and respect our classmates. Okay, so this is our art history website, smarthistory.khanacademy.org. It has everything you could ever hope for for this course and more. We're starting with the Renaissance, the 14th century, and going to the 21st. We are talking about, we're staying primarily focused in Europe and North America, the US. However, we are going to spend a week talking about 3 different cultures, Africa, Indigenous Americas, and Japan, because it is such a short time period for this summer class. There's a few global cultures that we are leaving out. However, if you wanted to know more, for instance, about art of the Islamic world and some other non-Western cultures, they do provide that information here. And there are so many artists and so many different styles over the course of the 700 years. I'm not going to be talking about every little thing, but if you're really interested, for instance, in Venetian art, you can go into more detail. If you were really, really interested in art from Flanders during the early Renaissance, you can go into more detail there. But we're just going to be kind of like touching upon the main historical aspects of the early High Renaissance and then some of the movements that followed. But everything's here laid out for you. There's a timeline, it's done by style and also artist and themes. So this is a great resource for us, and we don't have to buy a book, which is great. Okay, so the syllabus. This is a very important document that I really am requesting you to read through thoroughly, because I'm not going to be reading all of it right now. You're going to be required to visit a museum. That's a part of your curatorial project. So make sure you budget time and money for that. You're going to need daily access to a computer with internet. Course description is here, talking about some of the movements we're going through. And basically telling you a little bit about what art history is looking at. Here are some class procedures. We need to participate in the assigned discussion forums following etiquette. Research project is a big deal. It's a digital curatorial project presented in a format that can be uploaded or accessed on the internet. So you can do a PowerPoint presentation. If you're more tech savvy, you can do a blog or a website or a Tumblr. There's a lot of different ways to go about it, and I provide some links at the bottom to look at examples and resources on the curatorial project guidelines. All the information can be found there. So, for all the assignments and components, the guidelines are in that top section of Moodle. So that's where you'll find all the information. If you ever have any concerns, don't hesitate to email me, nahareen.rahim@evc.edu. If you don't do the first assignments and log in within the first 2 days, so that's Tuesday by midnight, you will be dropped from the class. Here's a blurb on academic honesty, no cheating or plagiarism. Again, I'm very accessible to communicate with you if you schedule a time with me via email. Here are the course requirements. So class participation is basically journals, discussion forums, and weekly commentary assignments. And within the discussion forum, you respond to 2 other students and their commentaries. We have assignments and a quiz on the 3rd week. The 2nd week we have a proctored exam, which is a midterm, so we're moving pretty fast because it is the summer, so we're squeezing in a higher level of intensity of working than we would during the 16-week semester. So you are required to come to Evergreen on Thursday, June 26th from 10 to 12 in VPA 202 to take a midterm on the first 2 learning units. You need to bring valid photo identification. If you can't make this time and place, you need to contact me as soon as possible so we can make arrangements for that. So this is a requirement to pass the class. Okay, the big deal is the curatorial project. It's due on Friday, July 18th at 11 p.m. There are various different components for it. The guidelines are on Moodle. We're going to be keeping a progress report track, so there are going to be components of the assignment due throughout the course of the 4 weeks. The exhibition visit assignment is one component, so the guidelines for that are on Moodle as well. The final, it's not a multiple choice final per se. It's written. It's actually an audit of all the writing you did throughout the semester. So basically, you need to keep up with all of that writing. If you miss a lot of journals, commentaries, assignments, you're not going to do very well on the final audit. So that's your motivation to keep you active in writing throughout the course. So the grading is divided into class participation, midterm, curatorial project, and final. Here's the logon instructions to go onto Moodle. Pretty basic. Hopefully you will have all done that by now. We have a couple hardware, software requirements. To view the presentations that I'm giving, you will need QuickTime, and all my presentations are on Moodle. You need a good internet browser to support the version of Moodle we're using. So Firefox 1 or later, I recommend Firefox, Safari, or Chrome. You need a computer that's hopefully not more than 5 years old. And like I said, a good internet speed, daily access to the computer. Here's the resolution settings that you need. For the withdrawal or drop policy, it's your responsibility to do that. If you stop, be aware of the dates to withdraw and still get a W or not get a W, and be aware, to drop before it's too late so you don't get an F in the class. If you have any learning disabilities or physical needs that require special accommodation, please inform me as soon as possible. The course was designed with accessibility issues in mind. Here's the number for the help desk if you're having technical concerns. Here's all the student learning outcomes. So this is what you can look forward to on what you're going to be able to achieve upon completing this class. Some of it sounds complicated, but we're going to be going over a language of art in the first week, and that should get you more familiar with these terms if you are new to studying art. So please, as soon as possible, go onto Moodle, do the first 2 assignments, both due Tuesday by 11 p.m. If you don't do these assignments by that time or haven't logged on by Tuesday at midnight, I will drop you from the class. So here we have, all the assignments and due dates, the different learning units, and the weeks that we're going to be doing that. So here's where you can start to book things into your calendar. So, all of these, the curatorial project 250-word statement due on June 30th, the midterm, the proctored exam, which is Thursday, June 26th. So I'm telling, basically what you want to do is watch the presentations and do the assignments. And on the assignments, there will be prompts to watch certain videos or read certain texts from the Smart History website. So that's the bulk of your work for the class. Let's quickly go over the curatorial project guidelines. So remember, do go into depth by reading all of these guidelines. Here's a list of museums and galleries in the Bay Area, and I've given the links for them. Curatorial project guidelines. This is a 9-page document, so if you can print it out, it's basically giving you all the information you need to do the assignment. And please look at the different components. There's 4 components here, okay? 5 components. Digital images, exhibition labels, a collection of critical information for each piece, the exhibition visit assignment, and a curatorial statement. At the bottom, I've given examples of themes to organize the exhibition around, a project timeline, as well as a lot of links to look at sample works. So that's about all the time we have. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact me. My name's Nahareen Rahim. I look forward to working with you.